PKN 287. We begin.
Yes, we begin. I like that.
Hey, I
just
appreciate
talking
you
about-
picking me up in Tarkov, by the way.
Yeah, if you want to play again tonight, I'm down. I was actually like when you guys saw you got on, I had just ordered some food and I was gonna eat and go to sleep, and so that's why I didn't play for so long. I was exhausted by the time we got like 2 hours in. But I'm about to play again tonight. If you want to play, I got a whole squad of fellas.
I have one friend playing with me. If you have room for two, I would love that. If
Probably
not,
make that work.
you know,
I know Larry's got a bunch of gear he wants to give you.
Larry's very kind. I still have the last set he gave me. I've been playing and it's been going well for me.
Good guy, Larry.
Yes.
I think Larry wants to give you some cases. The cases are very, very, very valuable. Like 10 times more valuable than a weapon.
Am I worthy of these things? I don't know.
They're gonna make your your life much easier because your stash, because you've got the standard version, is quite small compared to my stash. You know, where you store your stuff. And these cases are like TARDISes, so bigger on the inside. And so having an items case is like 1.5 million rubles, and a weapons case is 1.3 million rubles, and these things are bigger on the inside. So you throw them in your stash, you fill them full of gear, and all of a sudden you've got room again to operate. And you need that room.
Well, that would be very kind of him. I know the fans can only take so much Tarkov talk, right? Some guys love it for sure, and some guys are like, that's enough. But last night things went really well for me. I did a couple scav runs. Good. I think I made it through all but one. We did a couple PMC runs. I think that's what they're called. I made it through all of those. I still have the same gear as before. What people are helping me. It's not that I'm good. It's that like I did a scav run just before the show tonight. And it went well. I hit a couple loot boxes. I guess that's what I'll call them, like stashes. I killed a scav, and I was ready to exfil. So people don't know. You kind of hit places up that are known to have goods and get a kill or two if you can. And then you have to exfil. You have to go to the spot to escape. That is one of the hardest parts for me. Like just knowing my way around. There's no map. There's maps you can pull up on a browser and another monitor, which I do. But it doesn't have that GPS effect where it's like you are here. So
it's not like it's Dead Space where you press down on the stick
that's the
and
greatest.
A blue line goes.
Yeah, that's what I need.
All right, I'll just follow the yellow brick road right on out of here.
Dead Space is lovely that way. And so you're like, all right, like I guess this is the button. All right, this wall, I guess is that wall, and you're kind of figuring things out. And I had to exfil at Crossroads on Customs. You probably know right where that is. But
more or less, I don't play Customs very much. It's my least played map, but
Customs is the easiest map. For people listening, it's more appropriate for guys at my experience level than Kyle's. And I had 2.5 minutes left, which is a lot of time. And I just wandered trying to find the exact spot to stand in and never did.
Can I just interject and say Customs is the hardest map in the game?
What?
We avoid Customs like a plague because it's so hard. My 5-man team that are all made up of like multi-millionaires are all just like, we got to go to Customs to do a task. All right, let's go. Let's do this. It's like we're going into fucking Somalia or something. Everybody's like, if that's what the president wants, then, you know.
Are you pulling my leg?
Yeah,
no, it's so hard. It's so hard. It's the hardest map.
It's the only map I play.
It's the hardest of all the maps.
Then you're setting yourself up for success, right?
No, I know.
Because everything else is going to feel easy.
I don't know what I'm doing, but what helps is having tour guides. People take me through. I played with Soviet Bear. You know him. He's in the monthly hangouts too.
Sure.
And he guided us through a different one. The one that has Killa. I forget the name of it.
Interchange.
Yeah, we did Interchange. We did a bunch of different maps, and I had more success than you're supposed to in Tarkov. So tonight will be my rebound.
Yeah, I mean, I think tonight we'll play some maybe Factory. I don't know if you've played that before. It's it's a Call of Duty sized map, and I mean like Call of Duty 4, like little bitty.
Wow.
You're inside of one building, one factory. It's maybe 2 or 3 levels, couple staircases, big wide open area with a bunch of junk in it. Only 6 players on the map at a time, so it's. Are
we rolling in a group of 5? Because I like the way this works.
God, right, we are. and I feel like it's good for like I was thinking about this, like since you're starting this game, it's very hard. It's a little bit like working out. going on to customs is like, all right, I want to get into working out. I want to get strong. Put 300 pounds on the bar. I'll do it twice, and that'll be my workout. Whoa. Let's put 95 on the bar, and you do like 3 sets of 10. That makes more sense. So I feel like factory is like 3 sets of a nice,
I had
small,
no idea.
Your volume.
lightweight.
Yeah.
But like going into customs, it's like there are a lot. So there are a lot of newbie players there, but there's also fucking guys that are there to destroy. And there's a scab boss there with his whole posse, and it's very difficult to like control the map. Like what my 5-man party likes to do is like, let's lock down this whole quadrant of the map. I'm on this rooftop, you're on this rooftop, you get up on that rock, you get up in that field, and we've all got these intersecting fields of view, and we've all got call outs that we all know, and it's like he's there, and then 3 guys shoot him and he's dead. And we don't go to loot the body, we wait until there's 10 minutes left in the game, and there's just a sea of bodies, because the bodies are just bait for more people to come in. Oh, there he is. And we do that for, half an hour, because the matches are 40 minutes long. Last 10 minutes are just gathering up millions of rubles worth of loot. So yeah, factory is definitely like easy reps. It'll just be like 1 human player, a few scav, and what we often do is nighttime. So which really makes it easier, because everybody's got night vision goggles. It's not a big deal to hook you up with a set. And we just hold down this one room, the bathroom, 5 of us. A left entrance, a right entrance, so 3 on one, 2 on the other, and it just fills with scabs, the AI, and we just pile them up until they're chest high, and then once they're all dead, you loot them all up, and you've got. For a new player, it's really good to just be like, oh, so that's what kills a person.
I had some good luck. Like I if people don't know, I'm told in a scav run, every like 30 or 40 runs, you'll spawn in with a white key card. So like my second scav run ever, I got one, and I don't know that this is like, it means nothing to me, but I have a tour guide who was like, "Whoa, wait, you have a key card? New objective. Just get the heck out. You're not going for kills. You're not doing, you spawn in with this thing. It's worth, I don't know, like 150,000 rubles maybe. And all you have to do is just get the heck out." And there was like a penalty for getting out so fast that it doesn't matter in a scav run
through.
But it would matter if I played PMC, like I wouldn't get XP or something.
It matters about as much as your KD matters in Call of Duty. You know what I mean? But it's a 2.3, shucks. Who cares, right? Like Larry cares. Like he's real proud of his stats, and he tries to keep them at a certain level. But for me, it's like, I'm going to play how I'm going to play, and they're going to say there's going to be some numbers on a little private screen that only I see, and who fucking cares?
Yeah, no, I win like 2/3 of the time now, and my KD is like 3 or something. I don't mean to exaggerate, but these are way higher numbers than I pull in most games. So I just got lucky, and I've been carried, and that helps a lot too.
Yeah, that's about what a good player will do. Like escaping 60% of the time is quite good. The KD thing, because of scavs, like I'm not to brag, but my KD is almost 8. But I'm sure like Larry's is probably 12 or something like that. It gets crazy.
Jesus.
But it's just because we kill so many things. There's so much AI to kill, and we're decent at the game or whatever. On the Pastilli is doing this thing. So you mentioned that key card, and for those who don't know, the key card is your entrance way into the hardest map in the game, labs. You put it in your inventory. You say, yes, labs, let's go, and it's expended. 180,000 rubles, just poof, gone. 180,000 rubles is about what a good gun costs. It's a good amount of money, and within it there are doors. There's a ton of stuff in there, but there are some doors that are opened with other key cards. There's like 4 different colors: yellow, violet, red, and blue. Red is the most expensive. It's worth about 25 million rubles. I only have 20 million rubles in my stash, like cash. My entire inventory is worth about 100 million rubles according to the game. And I've been playing for like 3 months. These things are incredibly rare. I know where they spawn, and I've never found one. I think on the 25th, so which is in a couple days, Pastilli is doing a giveaway on his channel where he's giving away red key cards to followers. He has over 175 red key cards at this point. He's just been grinding and farming them up, and his followers have been gifting them to him, just jumping in game and be like, here's 4, man. this is all the money I have in the world in Tarkov. Here you go. And I've never seen more than one. I've never seen one.
I hear tales of Pastilli, and it's all good. It's always good stuff. Like
Tales of Pastilli.
Yeah, like he got scammed in game, but all he was doing was trying to help a charity. So
yeah,
he has access to the developers behind the game. Pastilli is like a big deal. He might be their leading PR guy.
He is right now.
Yeah, so he reaches out to the developers and he's like, man, I worked so hard for this. I'm just trying to help children's hospitals. And they're like, I can't do Russian. Read on it. So they ban the scammer for good. They give him the things he got scammed out of. And then he gets back to like making the world a better place.
Yeah, Nikita jumped in and gave him 20 red key cards. An enormous sum of in-game money. An enormous sum of in-game money. I was watching Pastilli live today, and he does these things called John Wick runs, but I think he calls them Pest Wick runs, where he plays Factory, and he uses no audio, and he just turns up the music from John Wick when he's in the nightclub. It's like, do, 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 and he just runs the whole. First he pops every stimulant in the game, like you have these injectors. It's like, all right, this one makes me run fast. This one makes me feel no pain. This one makes me super strong. This one makes me not bleed. This one makes me heal automatically. And then he just goes with a pistol, and he's just kills everything in the fucking map. And a lot of the time he's successful at it. It's really fun to watch.
Every story I ever hear about Pastilli, he's the good guy in that story. And that's
he's just a generally good guy. Yeah, he's a bit like Richard Ryan that way. I mean, hell, he's devoting his years. Channel revenue to fucking children.
Right?
We can't wrap our heads around that kind of
I don't understand. What's the play
What's your
behind
end
this?
game here?
Yeah.
Do you own the charity? Because I like that.
Do you get to sell these kids if you save them?
Are you a sick child?
I like the way you phrased it, Kyle. It's a charity for fucking kids.
Yeah, it's like I get giving them $10,000. Like I could be like, what a generous guy. I could see like 25,000. Well, you want it in a prize pool, so that makes sense too. Mm-hmm. Okay, you fought for them, but when he's just like, all right, all the money I make this year for the kids, it's like, holy shit. What do you mean all the money you make for the year?
Well, don't get crazy now.
Right?
Like
save some for yourself.
My wife is going bonkers.
So it's like cars, right? You're just fixing these kids up and selling them, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be an angle.
Chinese love a healthy kid.
Yeah.
All the organs they could have.
Now, this is an 09 Cambodian boy. I wouldn't peg him any older than a 2012, frankly.
He's got all his shots. We've taken a good look at the heart. Looks healthy.
It's like the refugees in Europe where they'll be like, this is Mahmoud, a 14-year-old from Northern Africa. And it's a guy who's clearly in his mid-30s standing there next to people. And it's like, you can't put that guy in 5th grade. Are you insane?
Dude, you mentioned...
I'm here to learn and fuck your girls.
Yeah, and fuck your girl.
You mentioned people who don't... somehow the clearly older guy... Ngannou is a UFC fighter. Some people think he's lying about his age. He's actually much older than he says he is.
I think Yoel might be too.
You think Yoel's more than 42?
Cubans are famous for lying about their age, like notorious, I should
Really?
say. Yeah, like in sports, like the new Cuban that's playing for the Marlins, he's 21, and you're like, what? I think he's 37.
So
Just want to have a long career.
Kyle turned me on to a YouTuber called More Plates, More Dates, and he did a video on Ngannou today. And dude, this More Plates, More Dates guy is jacked, right? He is just
He's a cutie. Yeah.
fucking like bowling balls on his deltoids. He's the delt god. But beyond that, he's jacked everywhere. He looks at people like Captain America and he's like, do you even go to the gym? Like he just got fat for this role, right? Like what?
It's like, yeah. Now The Rock is looking, frankly, pretty terrible.
Yeah, dude, that you joke, but he was like, what steroids do you think The Rock is on? And he's like, I don't know, maybe like a replacement dose of TRT at best. Like he's not really that strong if you look at him. And I'm just like, what?
Look at that. A mere 6 abs.
And he looked
He
at
doesn't have that
Ngannou.
like that He-Man action figure look. Do you remember that? Those He-Man
Yeah.
action
Oh,
figures
yeah.
where it was like, even as a kid, I'm like, these are just made up muscles.
This is my goal.
Yeah, this is my goal. This guy's got a 32 pack.
His arms are like 4 times bigger than they should be. They're just, they're just off to the side.
Huge.
So
Big juicy tits.
he did a
Yeah.
thing about
He-Man fan.
Ngannou, and his takeaway from the whole thing was, yeah, he's probably just natural. Maybe he did roids like when he was younger before the UFC, but he really hasn't demonstrated any progress to me at all. And I'm like, it blows me away. And I don't know if he's right or not. He's a subject matter expert, right? He does every steroid that he can get his hands on, the little self-experimentation, and knows what the effects are. But I kind of think he's so jacked. He doesn't see that some of these guys might be on roids and not have the same results as him. I don't know.
This guy Ngannou definitely looks older than 33.
Is that how old he claims? 33?
Yeah. 30. His face doesn't say 33 to me.
No, it says that he did at least 20 years in a fucking diamond mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks much older than that. A Cameroonian French professional.
Yeah, UFC is about to get interesting. Couple cool fights coming up. This fucking what's his name? Who's about to fight Yoel? Adesanya.
Adesanya. Israel.
Adesanya's talking out of pocket. All right, he needs a good ass whooping. I'm tired of him just being like, well, I don't know. I might fight Stipe or I might fight John Jones next. It's like Yoel's about to push your shit in, little man. First of all. And you're talking about either going to light heavyweight and fighting the champ or heavyweight and fighting the champ.
Have you seen them face off by chance, Yoel and Adesanya?
I have, and Adesanya is, of course, taller. Yoel's a shorter guy, but Yoel is as thick as my fucking car.
You're right.
So
yeah, I didn't recognize. I thought Yoel was going to be a significantly bigger man, right? They tell me that Adesanya is light and cuts like 4 pounds for 185. They being Chael Sonnen via a YouTube video, not like anyone to me. And when you see Adesanya, he looks skinny, and he didn't look bigger than Anderson Silva. He didn't look bigger than like a lot of the Kelvin Gustaman. I can't do his name right now.
yeah, Gastelum.
Gastelum, thank you. When they fought, Kelvin was at 170 for ages, and these look like different size 180. They look like roughly the same size guy.
Very
One was just
differently built, but
tall and
same
skinny
weight.
versus short. So I expected to see Yoel, who in my mind is the boogeyman, this jacked monster of a person, up to Adesanya, and to see Adesanya like, I don't know, shrivel and look mortal. That dude could rest his chin on the top of Yoel's head.
Yeah, but I don't think it matters. Like when Yoel run, I was showing my dad Yoel Romero. Like my dad doesn't know anything about UFC, so like
Mhm.
we were about to watch an event, and I was like, let me show you some of my favorite fighters and some of the like outliers in the sport. And I showed him like a Yoel Romero clip, and it's like, it's one of those clips that's like a montage of him, and there's a little bit of him like doing wind sprints without a shirt, and his pecs are going cha-chung, cha-chung, cha-chung. Like he has this pec that looks like a giant pot roast, like in
Just a
his
solid
chest.
block, not really jiggling, just shifting up and
It's
down.
each pec is at least 3.5, 4 pounds of solid, lean muscle just sitting under there, just powering these fucking. Who was it he kneed in the fucking head and split his skull open that time? That was just, he's the scariest guy out
Chris
there.
Weidman.
Yeah, he's fought for the championship multiple times and he just keeps losing. I think he's about to destroy Adesanya. I think that he's always just one step away from just killing a man in that ring. I really hope he beats Adesanya because
You
I don't
might
care
be
for
right.
Adesanya.
So I like Adesanya. I could look at a grappler and understand like the level of control and precision in the inch bite. Not that I can do it, but I can I could look at Damian Maia and Khabib and see how their grappling is better than everyone else's. For striking, I kind of don't see it. I can see who won striking, but the people who say what Adesanya is doing is something special, a new level of striking that the UFC hasn't really seen before. And I'm like, oh? Like,
I'll tell you who looks good.
just
Like
looks
when
like
I
punches.
Isn't it cliche? But isn't Connor kind of known as the best pure striker?
he's one of
He's
the
very
best
good.
for
Yeah,
sure.
he's on that
incredible.
list too.
Yeah. And Rose. I feel like Rose Namajunas, like her fight against Jessica Andrade. If you go back and watch that, the one she lost, the one she got dropped on her head, up until the point where she got dropped on her head, it was like, oh, that other girl doesn't even belong in here with her. It was so clean, and she's slipping punches and just pop, 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 slipping punches, falling back, pop, pop, pop. Just so accurate.
I remember that clip. We watched it now. That bitch got manhandled into the ground. Like, dude, she didn't just get dropped on her head. It was like the other lady, like, dropped her on her head and then pushed down harder on the neck, like almost try.
Did you remember the commentary on it?
I don't remember.
Dominic Cruz, very smart fight guy, right? And Jessica Andrade, is that her name?
Yeah.
She's trying to lift Rose up and drop her on her head, and Cruz is like, nope. That's impossible. You can't do it. See the way her arm is hooked there? Can't be lifted. And then she goes, whoa, boom. Like, it just
is what I would be saying if I were a novice to this.
It was great.
Did you watch the most recent event?
Yes. A fight night, right?
Yeah, 2 disqualifications on one card. Pretty interesting.
I'm on Diego's side with that.
I'm on Diego's side.
you?
First of all, Diego's a madman. He doesn't belong in the sport anymore. He needs to be out. So Diego Sanchez used to be one of the best out there. He has some victories over some of the greatest ever. And yet, he's been in the sport for 15 or 16 years. And at this point, it seems like he's going with the Bobby Boucher fighting technique method. Just get real mad. like he goes water boy mode. Literally before the fight, he's going
Gatorade, H2O.
He's doing this. He's spittle is flying out of his mouth. He literally has drooled in his last 2 fights.
Did you see him backstage?
It's pretty intense.
Backstage, he's doing this fucking Karate Kid fucking like.
I think he's saying yes. I'm not positive about the audio because I'm lip reading. And he goes like this. Yes, 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 like that repeatedly. That's his warm. Everyone else is like hitting bags, shadow punching, whatever. He's just doing yeses.
He gets into the cage and he's staring at the other man. And imagine if you're the other man. Now I get that we're not professional fighters or anything, but just imagine if it's you and you're like, all right, you're going to fight this guy. We're going to give you $250,000. Do your best. You know, we'll stop it if he gets ugly. And I'm like, well, fuck. All right. I outweigh him by 40 pounds. Let's go. And then you look over there and he's staring at you. And he's going, spittle is just flying. He's drooling. He's looking at you and drooling like a rabid dog.
That'd be cool if they barked at people too.
He's come out before with a crucifix and like he's fucking like exorcising someone, screaming like doing this, like the power of Christ compels you. That's power of Christ compels.
Getting the crowd amped up.
Nobody's getting amped up by that. They're all just like, the fuck?
That's not fair to you or me. It's a real crazy person.
So he was getting his ass handed to him like he did his last fight out. And then like the guy for some reason decided that it was time to knee him in the face while he was sitting on his ass, which is illegal.
Wait, there's a little more. He hit him. I don't know if it was a fist or a knee, but he broke 2 ribs on Diego. And Diego drops, and he's sitting down like on his own calf, kind of. So it's not a close call. You know, if a guy's on his knees, I can understand maybe you were confused and you thought he was like on the balls of his feet. Like, you know, it's chaotic. But no, he is sitting on his ass on his calf all the way down. Like, it's not even a close call. He's a really, really downed opponent. And he got kneed in the head, which is against a rule.
Yeah.
So he got disqualified and the other guy won.
The other guy got disqualified and Diego won.
Yes.
But there's this moment, there's time in UFC where they're like, can you continue? And he's like, I don't know. Can I talk to my coach? And like, no. I'm asking you, can you continue? And he's like, well, I mean, he kneed me in the head while I was down. I need you to answer my question, Diego. He's like, no, I can't. All right, you win.
Yeah. That's
like, oh, I got one right.
Dude, a similar thing happened in a John Jones fight. He was fighting that white guy who used to be 185 pounder. Do you remember his name?
No.
Anyway, it was about 2 fights ago, and John Jones did something that was illegal. It might have been an eye poke. John Jones, by the way, most fouls per minute in the history of the UFC. And
lots of eye pokes. Yeah.
So anyway, they asked the guy, "Can you continue?" And they're asking him, "Would you like to be the new 205-pound champion of the world?" And he says, "Yeah, I can continue." And he loses because he was losing. John Jones had 2 fights where kind of the media and the people thought he lost, the last 2. But this one, it was clear that Jones was getting the best of this guy. Jones was winning this fight. It was ahead on every scorecard, and then he fouled him. And the guy could have just chosen to win. And the commentators were like, "Oh, I'm glad he did the honorable thing. It didn't just decide."
What Chael Sonnen have done?
If I were that guy, I would have been like, yeah, and I think I'm going to need some PTSD counseling, like after this.
Also, about a year off.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna need a year off. I'm gonna need a championship belt, some pay, and some security.
I'm gonna need
immediately puts the belt on eBay. Just really cash in all the way. Yeah, you got to watch that new episode of The Outsider, Taylor.
I will tonight. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that show.
We'll talk about it on PKA once you catch it. But I watched it last night. Every episode's been good. Every episode's been good. It's creeping me out just a little bit. I'm pretty afraid of whatever this thing is. I would not want it in my life. It is a real terror to behold. You haven't even really seen it. Not really.
I don't want the blisters on my neck.
Yeah, you've seen little spooky hints at it so far, but nothing, no full on, face.
It kicked the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
barely an
takes the
inconvenience.
form of some other person and then just beats you up. Yeah, that's not fun.
Is that what happened? The scene I'm thinking of.
Invisible.
Yeah, I don't even know if he had a body that could have been touched back.
He was invisible to us, but like what the guy who was getting beaten up was seeing was the creature taking the form of his mom. And so it was showing like what he's seeing, which is like it is, the demon in the form of his mom, and then it shows him getting thrown around the apartment. No, this is in his apartment where like he's just like running into tables and stuff, and like it shows you the third person view of like what's he doing, just jumping around his room and breaking stuff and hurting himself.
There's another guy who got beat up. He was in the woods. He might have been hunting at the time.
It's the same guy. He catches a lot of assholes.
that guy he deals some out too. That guy's a bit of an asshole.
He is. Like the way they, when they make a character so over the top, just shitty, like almost Joffrey, where you're watching and you're like, something bad is coming down the pike for you, my friend, because people are not going to stay interested in this show if it's like the Joffrey, power hour every week where you do whatever you want and no comeuppance. So like when he was just starting stuff in like episodes 1, just at a bar for no reason, just like breaking a bottle over someone's head, being a nuisance, I was like, yeah, this guy is beyond unlikable. Whatever this, no good Nick demon is running around the forest, it's going to sink its teeth into this guy for sure. Or maybe it's not even a demon. In my head, it's a demon. But
yeah, it's some sort of monster. I don't know that it's necessarily a religious like God and the Satan sort of demon, but it's something. It's some sort of creature that feeds off of sadness and anguish, and it prefers to it prefers to actually eat children. It's awesome. It's a cool. It's like an X-Files episode drawn out into a full series, but there's no Mulder there to be like, chupacabra. There's no like. It's not like in the Supernatural where they're like, little salt in the old 12 gauge will handle this. Everybody's just like, we don't know what the fuck this is. The Jews called it this. The Sumerians called it that. It's the tear drinker. And they're all just like, what the fuck is a tear drinker? I want that scene that trope you always see at movies where somebody goes to the library and they get out the old book and start flipping through the pages. And there's like a couple demons drawn and stuff.
Yeah.
And like,
I see. His vulnerability is an upside down cross covered with holy water.
Yeah.
And then,
I saw like when they were doing that exact same thing in the library, the black autistic girl who we were talking before, she did a really good job with that role. Yeah, she did some on Google, and she also went to like a library and like opened a book, and of course it's that, like, even as it was happening, I'm like, it's gonna be a picture of Saturn devouring his son, that painting. And it was. And instead of them in that little montage of instead of them showing like 15 scary paintings, they showed like 2 scary paintings and then 15 versions of Saturn eating his son. I'm like, well, no, I get it's spooky, but come on, maybe a couple more scary paintings. Yeah. Was the intern busy that day? He just couldn't only find one.
A moment in the show where it actually made me frustrated. She's doing a Google image search. It was like 6 minutes of her just Googling to music. And I'm like, guys, what are you trying to fill up time here?
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Move. I get it. She did a Google search. This is your plot line? This is what we're doing the last 10 minutes of the show? Okay.
Showing her like typing something out, then deciding to backspace.
Misspell.
Yeah. No, I'm really liking the show so far. And I think she's doing a real good job of playing like that investigator, straight man kind of person. So
yeah.
I'm like, and I really like the main detective guy. He's
sheriff,
really good,
like sheriff type character who's very, very skeptical. Yeah, like I told you, like in the most recent episode, they're just like, dude, either get on board or get out of the way.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. We all believe in the boogeyman now. All right, everybody but you. Your daughter believes.
Yeah,
like everyone.
The first guy, is it Jason Bateman? Is he the actor?
Yeah.
Did you know? I guess I'll spoil it. Should I say what?
If you haven't seen season 1, then you're going to want to skip ahead like 3 minutes in the show.
Did you see? I don't even know how to ask the question. I'll let it go for not spoiler. But
no, everybody listening, if you haven't seen episode 1 of The Outsider, skip forward 3 minutes. That ought to cover this.
All right.
You've been warned. 3, 2, 1. What's your question?
When he got shot, did you know he was dead right away?
I didn't.
I did.
I
thought I would be okay.
Okay. Oh, good. I thought I was just slow on the uptake.
They left that sort of floating over your head for a while in the second episode till someone finally said the words, that, he's gone, he's dead, whatever. I don't remember exactly how it came about, but like, I was like, we were watching him and I was like, do you think he's dead? Are they going to go? You never know. Like they could have easily gone to the hospital and had him in a coma or just sitting up in bed or had him back at home. You didn't know what was
There was a doctor right on the scene applying pressure. They were doing the things. And for people, I don't know why I'm saying he got shot in the neck and that can be deadly. It can take out that jugular. It's a big problem. Or, it's TV world. He was such a main character, and I thought that he had some plot armor, and he did not.
I was real bummed out with his death. I was like, wait, the guy who kind of pulled me into this show is dying.
They did it
like,
Ned
at the
Stark.
very beginning of the second season. Like, come on. Well, really, the end of the first season. Yeah.
Or
second episode.
Second episode. He had a scene that was really powerful for me because the detective, who you guys like, asked him if he ever touched his son. And he goes on, he was a baseball coach, and he explains how the kid was he was small, he wasn't a hitter, and then he taught him how to bunt, and he was fearless in this bunting. And they had a nickname for him. I forgot it, but it was insulting. And then
it was Whiffer.
And they changed it to Pusher. Does that sound right?
Something like that. They gave him like a cool nickname afterwards.
And
Not very cool though.
It wasn't.
It's better than hey shithead.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, well, they changed his nickname to a level of respect for the bravery that he was putting forward to bunt and get on base and be a part of the team.
He's like, I taught him that.
He's like,
I taught him that.
I taught him.
You asked me if I ever touched your son. Yeah, I hope I did.
Right.
I made myself.
I was watching that. I was like,
because I was thinking, really? I was because I was watching it and I was laughing at the end of that scene because I was picturing just Jason Bateman being like, "Yeah, you know what they called your son? They called him Whiffer. You know what I taught him to do while you were at work? I was picking him up for practice, driving him there. I taught him how to bunt. He wasn't the strongest kid or the quickest kid, but you know what? You asked me if I touched your son. I hope so. And damn." What a sweet ass. Just like right at the end. Like,
and then I taught him to blow me and they called him sucker. And yeah, I touched him a little.
Yeah. We called him deep throat.
Yeah, that was an intense scene because at first he was like, you asked me if I ever touched your son. He's like, be very careful about what you say next. And I'm just like, he might murder him right here. There's nobody around.
Ugly kids. He could have said just
all the time.
I was thinking the most horrible thing to respond to that.
Pal's right.
But that was a good
Be
scene.
very careful what you say next. And it was just like, like, all right, what do you got? What are you going to say? And it was that. it made me not want that character to die.
Yeah, that made me. That I don't remember if I cried.
Your son
but I
was
was
the
definitely...
worst lay I've ever had. I was glad he died. Just being horrible.
Can we switch
good show, though.
topics?
I'm watching that.
Yeah.
So on the last PKA, we talked about the airplane seat chick. The guy was pushing it from behind. I've learned more. So essentially the guy behind her said, "Hey, I'm eating. Can you put your seat upright while I eat?" He did. He ate his meal. He finished his meal. And then she leaned her seat back. And on this point, I'm like really with her. I'm already thinking that if the seat is designed to recline, it's okay to recline the seat. Like that to me are the rules. But for her to sit upright so that he had more room while eating, I thought was extra kind.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on team woman. And then she leans back and he starts doing that thing where he pushes her seat. And if I remember right, it was fingertips, right? He's just sort of pushing, making it rock. Yeah. This is where this bitch loses me. She's like, and then he started punching me really hard in the back. And I'm like, you're talking about the seat thing, right? He's not punching you. He's not touching you. He's annoying you. He's annoying you with the seat thing. And she's acting like she was being horribly injured.
Like he's reaching around boxing her ears.
Yeah. And she's like, I was so scared. I thought I'd record him so that, like any reasonable person would stop once they saw the recording, but not this guy. He just kept on punching me.
Not this alpha.
So I called the flight attendant. The flight attendant didn't come. And she didn't come, and time had passed. When the flight attendant finally came, she took his side. And she gave me a letter saying that I was causing a disturbance and that I was violating federal laws by, because he was punching me. And I'm like, there's more to this story, bitch. I know there's more to this story, you bitch. There's some reason I don't like you right now, and I was on your side. And then the flight attendant came, and she didn't like you so much, she decided you were the asshole in this situation. I don't know what went down. I don't know what's missing. And the CNN host, that fucking cunt. She's like, because you saw the video of the fingertip pushing on the back of the chair. And she's like, so he was punching you. What did he do next? And it's like, you cunt. We all saw he wasn't even touching her. You just confirmed the punching story as true when it clearly was not. So
fake news. That was fingertip pokery. Very annoying and rude, but not punching.
For sure. Now,
both of these people suck.
Yes, everybody sucks here. Is the take? Oh wait, all three people suck. Kyle's right. The CNN host, the lady in the chair, and the dude in the chair. The two.
Did you see what they did to Andrew Yang?
No,
they said they had this article. It's this clickbait bullshit, and it says Andrew Yang's wife comes forward about sexual abuse. 50 other women come forward as well, and you're like, fuck. Okay. She was abused by her gynecologist. This has nothing to do with Andrew Yang, but you're like, they abused her. They're the worst. They're worse than Fox. They are.
Just misleading with their clickbait trash.
But wait, who were we implying were abused?
They were implying that Andrew Yang was an abuser.
Oh, I never took it that way.
Yeah, I think.
I would if I saw a headline that was like Andrew Yang's wife and 50 others come forth about abuse. It's like
that's pretty much what.
That's not a good headline at all for Andrew Yang. Like. That's insane.
Oh, the first time I heard of it, I got the full story. So
I saw a hilarious tweet from Bloomberg, not his account, but the media organization he runs. Okay. And the article on Bloomberg.com was like, experts believe this is now a 2-horse race, and one of them's Bloomberg. And it's like your name's on the site, bitch.
I saw that as well. I clicked a YouTube video and I was like, it's Bloomberg : and then like the news, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this Bloomberg news? Who is believing this? This is like Russia Today telling me about Vladimir Putin's like generosity or something. This is outrageous. It'd be like if Don Lemon was running for Senate. like, all right, CNN, I don't buy it. I don't think he saved a bus full of children today. Like it was just nonsense. They're like, they were showing the numbers in the least flattering way possible for Sanders, and it's like the dude is opening up a huge lead everywhere.
Dude, MSNBC had an unironic like Chiron image where it was like, when you put Bernie up against the 3 moderates combined, it tells quite a different story. And it was really a picture of Bernie, then a picture of Klobuchar, Buttigieg, and Biden, and like a big like tower showing how much higher the combined 3 of them were. And I'm like, who's watching this going, fuck, I didn't consider.
They did the same thing to Trump. Do you remember when the attack against Trump was, he's never gotten above 22%. It's like, yeah, there's 14 other people in the race. 22% is outrageously high. Yeah. Can he break the 22% barrier? And it's like, yeah, once he's alone, what are you talking about? That's what they're doing to Sanders
as soon as he finishes sniping low energy jab and steals all that.
Trump did really well.
It's the same old dirty tactics.
Yeah. I looked at it through that. I looked into this just recently, and Trump got 45% in Florida, which was one of the early races, and he won with big numbers. I had in my head, I invented this history where, he got like 18%, but nobody else did, got 20 because there were 16 people in there. But no, Trump actually did really well in all those states. Like
he killed it.
He killed it.
And like throughout it all, like it was just one bombshell after another being launched at him. Like, oh, he grabbed some pussy.
That was the end.
He made fun. He joked about tacos one time. Look, what's that in his drawer? Oh, did he cheat a contractor in 1997?
Does this guy eat his KFC with a knife and fork?
Oh, that's an Obama level complaint.
I disliked the way he ate his chicken.
Bloomberg is trying to.
With your hands.
Bloomberg is like fake claiming Obama like he's making it seem like Obama is endorsing him in all of his ads. Have you noticed that?
No, but it's hilarious to me.
He's literally doing it. Like people, there are a lot of people like not just like 1 or 2 people like it's in the media that believe that Obama has endorsed Bloomberg. They're like did you see that Obama endorsed Bloomberg? They're like, yeah, I saw that. I saw the ads. They're like, well, he hasn't. Yeah. They're playing these old clips of Obama being like, he's a partner and on this issue and that issue, and the people of New York are lucky to have him. And I
would never endorse him, manlet.
Bloomberg's entire rise is like an advertising creation. So this next part is from the Department of Woody's ass. Don't put any weight in it. But I think that on Super Tuesday he won't get the votes he needs, and that'll be the end of it. I think that's what I think. I think that Sanders is doing really well in Nevada. I've only seen 2 polls, and he was up 9 and 17 points. And then the poll before that was prior to the voting we've had, so let's not count it. And then in South Carolina, he's doing well too. And I just think he's going to win Nevada, and then somehow win South Carolina because of the momentum from his 3 previous good results. And
it's possible.
And then Super Tuesday, he'll do well enough that it becomes a one-man race. I think. We'll see.
He's pulling away. I think that it's going to be 3 or 4 for quite a while because they got the money, so they're going to spend it, and it's at a certain point it becomes, well, let's just keep my name out there. I mean, we could write a book later. We could be in the cabinet. Like the more supporters we build, the more our personal value goes up.
You know who doesn't have money? Biden. You would have.
Biden's low on money.
Yeah, you'd guess
Biden
that.
and Warren are done.
Is Warren low on money? I don't know.
Oh, I just mean like Warren has dropped off so much in popularity, and everybody's starting to get tired of Uncle Joe talking about his leg hair and shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean to drag out.
I saw an old quote from Joe Rogan, not old, like a few months, and he was like, electing Biden would be like going into a dark forest with a flashlight with dying batteries.
Yeah.
It's not going to end well. like he is diminished.
That is pretty fucked up that like Bloomberg is so rich that he can just decide like, all right, all the rules changed for me. I'm not going to compete in these 2 events because I wouldn't win anyway, and I'm just going to drop almost $500 million.
I didn't realize how rich he was. I didn't realize
$60 billion.
I knew that he was a very wealthy man. I know of him. Like I'm aware of some of his accomplishments. I had no idea that he's like one of the richest human beings that's ever existed.
Oh yeah,
$63 billion.
When did he jump into this race? And he's already spent almost $500 million, or like 400 million. Or
like 380 or something.
Yeah, the numbers I've heard are more like Kyle's. But the crazy one is I've heard that during the time he spent that 380 million, he's earned more than 380 million. Like his net worth is climbing while he's dumping all this cash around.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You gotta have rules about this shit. You can't just have the richest.
He's going
man
Lex
on Earth buying
Luthor.
it.
He's going full.
Taylor,
Lex
are you
Luthor.
serious? This is like so opposite of 2016 Taylor.
It is true. Yeah, like seeing like just the power of this one guy, like really opened my eyes to it. Where it's like, holy fuck,
the power.
This guy could just buy an election if he wanted to. And you think that his friends at like every other major media establishment, like you think they're not going to have his back a little bit and like, you know, look the other way on some things because he's one of the most powerful people on earth. It's just crazy.
The attacks against him are he's being attacked by people who are pros though. You know, you can buy your way into a lot of things, but what you're going to find is the people that you're jumping in with are professionals at what they do, and they have teams of professionals. So people at the Sanders campaign, the Buttigieg campaign, like these are all professional politicians. So they've already dug up so much dirt. They're already they're bringing up all those horrible things that he said. Did you see where like one of his female employees, Bloomberg, said, "Oh, I'm pregnant," and he says, "Kill it."
You know, that's a plank in the
quote,
Democratic platform. Actually, that's okay.
Another quote was, "They're like, oh, so brave." Another quote was the lady was like, "I can't find any childcare. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to this function, etc." And he's like, "Oh, childcare, it's not that hard. You find a black who doesn't even need to speak English just to pull the kid out of a burning building if need be. That's all you need." You know, there's lots of sexual allegations, like sexual harassment allegations. They're like, there's a huge breakdown. It's like, all right, there's 8 that accused his company, 4 more that directly accuse him. This many were like paid off. This many dropped charges. This many are still in litigation.
I mean, now he sounds kind of like a baller.
Sounds like a real pimp.
A real little fucking pimp. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's not going to go anywhere, I don't think.
I don't know. I think he'll be on the stage and debating, and then that's the fun part, right? I like.
Yeah, I just want Trump to tweet more about how he shouldn't get a box to stand on.
Yes,
like, that's not fair. You shouldn't be able to stand on a box. No one else there's gonna have a box. You want to be the only one, little Mikey? Like,
I love the Trump Bloomberg battles. Because Bloomberg is a peer of Trump's, at least, right? He's a lot wealthier than Trump is. But let's call them peers. And everyone else, I feel like, is coming from this like underdog position where they're punching up. Bloomberg, that's not how I see it. You know, he can talk down to Trump if he wants to, and he does, and I find that entertaining.
I would like it if they did actually banter. I would like it if they actually did have a box for. It
happens on Twitter. It's probably not even him typing. I'm sorry, Kyle. Yeah. But he's hired a really, really good advertising team. I'm sorry, Kyle. You were talking about how. Buttigieg's team and Biden's team and what have you, saying those are the professionals. I don't know. I feel like Bloomberg is hiring all the best people because his ads are funny and his ads are something to go around. I look at like a Buttigieg ad or something and it's like an attempt to be inspiring that didn't work on me. You know, same with Sanders. But the Bloomberg ones, it's like, oh, yeah, LOL.
And Bloomberg is spending so much money, he can effectively edge out his ability of his competition to advertise. Because basically, if you're Yang or Sanders or, you know, Biden, whoever, Warren, someone who doesn't have like as big of a war chest, like you got to be smarter with your advertising. You got to be like, all right, well, we're going to put this many spots a week up on Fox, this many on MSNBC, this many on HGTV, blah, blah, blah. And what are the rates for those spots? Okay, we don't want to pay rate card, which is what they, so like Fox, for example. Like if you just independently, you reached out and were like, hey, how much for me to run a 30 during Tucker or during that time slot? They'd be like $10,500. You'd be like, okay, but I'm going to go through an advertising firm so I don't have to pay rate card. And then you get a cheaper rate. Basically what Bloomberg can do is say, yeah, I'll pay rate for every single network. And so if there's ever a time where it's like, all right, the guy who's slotting in the commercials is like, okay, well, there's a 30 here for Sanders. There's a 30 here for Buttigieg. There's a 30 here for Bloomberg. Ooh, Buttigieg and Sanders, they're not willing to bump up the extra $4,000 per 30, but Bloomberg is. All right, well, it's our policy. We put it whoever is paying the most. And so he's like carpet bombing and almost preventing advertising in some ways because he's buying up such a high amount of frequency. It's just really
it's not just that he has a lot of ads, it's that his are preventing the others from advertising. He's putting so like I only get ads on the radio a little bit and YouTube. That's pretty much the only ads that I get. I've seen so many of them. So many of them. I don't think I've seen anyone else's ads at all. I don't know what everyone else's ads look like, but I know what fucking what's this?
Yeah,
Bloomberg.
Bloomberg's
Guess they're
Facebook
not
and
working.
YouTube and Google are fucking loving Bloomberg's campaign because he's just bleeding money right into him.
I
Which I guess he
imagine
doesn't care about.
Facebook.
He's paid more.
Is he advertising on Facebook too? Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
he's doing everything everywhere. Like he's
I-
really pouring it in. I that's so funny. You said his net worth has gone up. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's the great. But I don't want to waste a lot of time with it, but I watched a Twitch streamer explain how much $1 billion was, and he wrote 1 million and he wrote 1 billion, right? And you see it as the 3 more zeros. It's whatever. And then he wrote 100,000s and said that's 1 million. And then he did he just worked out. He wrote another 1,000 100,000s. And this is what 1 billion is. And just visually, it was overwhelming. And then he's like, because I think somebody donated 100 grand to a Twitch streamer. And he took one of the 100 grands away. You couldn't even find it amongst the other 1,000.
Yeah.
If you deleted a whole line, if you gave 1 million away, it would have no real impact on all that the hundreds of thousands written on the screen. It was insane. And then when you realize he has 60 of those, boy.
Yeah, and he's making another 8 every year or something, probably just a bananas amount of money.
And
Did you?
oh, go ahead.
If you're okay with changing topics.
Yes.
I was seeing this thing. I don't know very much about League of Legends, but I saw this story.
Not either.
There was an all-female team competing in the competitive League of Legends league, the LCL, and first all-female team, and they were averaging 27 deaths per game, which is about 10 or 12 more than anyone else. And it got to be such a joke that their competition would use off-meta champions, which is the same thing as if we were playing Call of Duty 4 game battles, and my team was like, I don't know, let's run Scorpions. Let's just run Scorpions against them,
Guys,
let's
we're doing all China Lakes.
Exactly. People started goofing on them. And when you put those two facts together, not only were they dying 30% more than anyone else in the league on average, their competition was making a goof out of them by not even trying all that hard. So they've all been cut. And of course, there's a lot of sexist claims going around. And it's just no, they're no good at the fucking game. Pussies or no.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can't just have a team that sucks ass.
That happened to me.
Ruin the whole tournament.
I had a Minecraft server. It's all Minecraft stories now and then. People used to come up, and I swear they'd be armored to the tilt, right? They'd have the greatest stuff. It was hard to hurt them. And then they were really skilled at taking pots, which means you can drink a potion and heal instantly. And that's part of fighting. So you come and you put these things on your hot bar and you're all ready. And they challenged me to a 1v1, except they'd use a fish. And it's like, you motherfucker, this is okay. Yeah. You're very hard to kill. and I know you're beating me with a dead fish. but you're very good at the pots. And your armor is all ranked up. And this is embarrassing. And I've been on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can type /kill anytime I want to. You know that.
Yeah, I've never played nor watched nor follow League of Legends, but that's a pretty funny story. So their whole team got booted out, and it seems like for good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meritocracy, my friends, meritocracy.
League of Legends, I don't know about this particular tournament, but it's very expensive to field a team. It's almost like owning an NFL team or something. Like people pay millions or tens of millions to have a team that can compete in these leagues. I wonder if this was that level of gaming.
Maybe. I mean, these kind of things usually are publicity driven. Like they're like, oh, we get an all girls team in there, we'll try and drive up some viewership with females. But clearly didn't work unless they liked watching the girls get absolutely.
We're talking about them now.
That's
They're pretty
true.
attractive. Like 3 out of 5, or I don't know, 4 out of 5 are
Link it up.
rather attractive.
Let's take a
One
peek.
of them looks like, you ever see that movie 30 Days of Night, where the vampires are in the Arctic Circle? Because there's the 1 second from the left looks like one of those vampires, but everybody else there is pretty cute.
Yeah. They got their little vests on, their jackets.
Yeah, they got their arms crossed and that sort of we're bad bitches kind of
Yeah.
kind of pose.
We've never been told no.
I don't know. Which
I cut in line.
what are
at
they wearing in
Starbucks.
your picture, Kyle? Like white
They're
jackets?
wearing like baseball type jackets.
It's like a Letterman jacket,
Like a
yeah.
vest over like a long sleeve shirt.
I think that one might be a little shopped. Because if I'm right, here, I'll try and I don't know if this link will work in Discord. These are the same girls we're looking at, right?
Let's take a peek.
Those are all Asian girls, like for the most part. Like, there's no Asians in the first picture. How
Really?
these are-
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no.
Two different groups of girls.
He's like, this is the same pictures of like 8 Nigerian men. One of these is not like the other.
I
He's
was
like,
stuck
don't
on the
know.
red-haired chick. That's what I
So
use.
funny. I hope you're putting up these two pictures next to each other.
I'm flipping back and forth. And
I
you-
want do that meme from The Office, like they're the same picture.
Yeah, it's the same.
Three of these women are Asian.
well, I mean, they're kind of squinting in the baseball jacket picture.
Let's see.
They're
One of these
squinting.
ladies might be the same. Oh, this is from 2013. Wait, what?
These are all Russian girls.
Let's see.
They're kind of squinting. I mean, that one second from the right looks like Freddie Wong in a wig. Like, this isn't even close.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that one on the right.
These are
looks like-
all pretty Caucasian girls.
I've tried to explain to people that, like, I swear it's like you know, people say they never forget a face. I do. I'd love to never forget a face. And you know, the fappening comes out, and there's like 4 pictures of J-Lo, then one really good one. I can never tell that's not her. That they, you know, in the good one, it's a disability.
I just imagine you in those standardized tests. One of these is not like the other, and you're just like, not again. Can I do the
I
essay?
don't give a fuck what's going
I'll
on.
do
in these
2
farmhouses.
essays.
Yeah. I'll do 2 essays. Just don't make me look at the differences between these 2 city streets. If you
I
make
don't
me
know, that
click
one's got a
every
stop
picture of
sign.
the traffic light, I'm gonna freak out. Yeah. I hate those too. Those make me feel like
Well, one's the
retards.
ocean and one's New York City. So
You know what I don't
I-
How many
understand?
differences to name?
You know when you check a box and it says "I am not a robot"?
Yeah.
Why are robots incapable of checking that box? I don't understand.
I've never
How does that
never
work?
understood that either.
Like
whatever tool someone's using to befuddle things apparently cannot find that box and click it.
I am baffled by
But
that.
then other sites are like, show me the difference between 8 different images. Like they'll show you this huge box, and you're like, how many of these have fire hydrants in them? And you're like, oh my fucking god, I don't know. Is that a fire hydrant? I don't know. Might be a red dog in the distance.
Yeah. It's
Click.
like, well, this is
Nope.
an angle, just a picture down a street, and one of these boxes covering something that must be 3,000 yards away. I don't know what that. So I've literally on sites before gotten into that like loop where I'm like, all right, I definitely got all the signs. Okay. All right. I guess I didn't. I guess I must have missed one because it came up with a new challenge. And I've just said, fuck it. And just, no, it's not worth going to this site.
You know what? Fuck you.
Some things are
Yeah,
too
fuck
hard.
you, New York Times, and your bullshit article limit. Can't wait till you go out of business. Dicks.
I don't have the best eyesight anymore. Like, I can acknowledge that. But some shit's just too small. This would be a challenge for somebody with good eyesight. I needed to read the serial number from the back of a GoPro the other day. And I'm just like, oh, come on.
Yes.
There's more space on this screen. You could have used it all.
You look out of the corner of your
This
eye at
is
the
Cyrillic.
magnifying glass, and then you remember that meme of the white-haired grandma with the magnifying glass. And you're just like, fuck it. Fuck it. I don't need to
Just buy
pair
a new
this.
GoPro. Yeah, just-
Get a new one. Do you make the text on your phone big?
I don't think so. I do on my computer screen, though.
I saw a Boomer starter pack the other day, and that was one of the things. It was like making the text on your phone like 150%.
yeah.
I do that. It's just
Yeah,
more
no,
convenient.
bug.
I did buy a bigger screen, so I got that going on.
you pull up an iPad, like, no, it's fine.
It's got a pop socket on the back. That's the whole,
The
the whole thing.
It's your whole fist. It's like a boxing glove on the back at this point.
the Mac.
It's like a gauntlet taped to the back. You slip in your hand.
I do most of my browsing on a Mac and it has like a pinch to expand. I do that all the time. You can make things bigger. You can zoom in on things, and it's glorious for us approaching disabled.
Watching
vision.
my dad text is so funny, but I also know that that's my future. My eyes are even worse than his. And like just reading his text, it'll just say like, all like one word per line, like, Taylor, do you want to come to lunch this Thursday? And he has to like scroll up just to get that through. It's like 100-point text.
My
He's white as
dad,
bat.
my dad's fingers are really big. Like they're probably twice as big as mine. And he really just he doesn't even bother texting. He does the voice to text.
Mhm.
And sometimes it works. Sometimes I have to do a bit of deciphering. Like there'll be this whole thing of nonsense, and I'll just be like, and then he'll go. I'll see him like send a next text message, be like, "This damn thing don't know what the hell I'm saying," and I'm like, "Neither do I." I don't know. Like he'll try to tell me how much money he won at poker, and he'll be like, "Lost $38,000." And I'm like, "Oh no!" And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." $38. And I'm like, "Oh, all
Well, that's
right.
not nearly as bad.
That's a difference." Yeah, he uses talk to text, which is an improvement over what he used to do. He literally used to send me voice memos, which I actually preferred because I would get these voice and I'd just be like, "Play. Hey, Kyle, what's going on? What are you doing this weekend?" Instantaneously, and I got it. And I get to hear his voice, right? It's like a voicemail that I don't have to go through the rigmarole for. And it's like, boop, play the next one. "I've been doing this today, hanging out with Bill. We're going down here to do this and that." "Oh, cool. All right." Boop. "Hey, honey, what you doing tonight?" Oh, wrong one. That's not me, Dan. Not me. Stop.
Hey, how about we fool around like we did at Denny's parking lot, like we were teenagers again, like last weekend? Dad, I don't need to hear this yet.
No hickeys. Kyle's not buying the curling iron thing.
Well, you guys want to call it a rappery now?
I think so. I'm glad we got Discord to work. We had a little trouble getting started.
But I'll sort it out now. Kyle, Tarkov tonight, perhaps?
Yeah. Just whenever you're ready, just message me. I'll grab a couple people.
Very cool. All right, PKN 287.